Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something from our source material that is, honestly, completely transformative. Look, if you're a content creator, you know the drill, right? You are doing absolutely everything yourself. You're the writer, the editor, the designer, the manager, the whole shebang. And it is just exhausting. But today, we're going to completely flip that script. We're mapping out exactly how you can go from being an overwhelmed solo creator to a literal business owner using what the sources call the Apex Talent System. Let's get into it.
So, let's be real for a second. Are you working 40 hours a week just to get, 3 videos out the door? Does that hit a little too close to home? Because man, this is the ultimate pain point, isn't it? It's that creator burnout treadmill. You're just grinding away, spending all these hours trying to push out high-quality stuff, and there's absolutely no time to think about strategy, no time to scale, honestly, no time to even breathe. It is a fast track to burnout for sure.
Okay, let's dive into this, because that massive 40-hour block, it's about to shrink dramatically, down to 4 hours. Yeah, you heard me right. According to the sources, 4 hours is literally all the time you actually need to spend on your channel every single week. If, and that's a big if, you build the right system. I know, it sounds like an absolute pipe dream right now, but it's entirely possible. Your job should really just be recording the content and setting the vision. Everything else? That can and should be handled by a rockstar team.
So here's our roadmap to getting that freedom back. 1. Quick wins with Fiverr. 2. Building your core team. 3. Scaling your YouTube business. And 4. Managing your rockstar team.
All right, jumping into section 1, quick wins with Fiverr, also known as the tactical training ground.
Now, the sources make it clear, Fiverr isn't your final destination, okay? Think of it more like a testing ground. I know a lot of creators get super frustrated with, kind of subpar results on there. But there is a secret sauce to making this work, and it's all about batch ordering. Here's the play. You find a few highly rated gigs, and you give them identical, hyper-detailed instructions. I'm talking a sketch, a Loom video, a specific Google Drive folder, the works. Because freelancers on there charge so little, you can actually afford to play a bit of a numbers game. You test 3 or 4 people at the exact same time, put their results side by side, ask for revisions with super clear bullet points, and then you only finalize the absolute best one. Boom, you've just found your go-to person for that task. Let's move to section 2 and see how this builds. Building your core team. This is where we transition from just outsourcing to actual ownership. Because as you grow, juggling a dozen different freelancers, that just becomes a massive bottleneck. It's time to bring in dedicated, full-time talent.
But before you hire anyone, the sources highlight this major mindset reversal you have to make. Are you ready? You want people who can do work better than you. Most creators wait way too long to hire because, we all kind of think we're the only ones who can do it exactly right. But think about it. A dedicated hire is spending all day, every single day on just one task. They naturally have the time for those brilliant finishing touches that you just don't have the bandwidth for.
And this brilliantly illustrates a great analogy from the sources. Think of your team as vehicles trying to get your business to its destination. So backpacks, they just weigh you down and make the journey harder. Bicycles help a little bit, but you're still the one pedaling and doing the hard work. Cars are awesome. They do most of the work, but you still have to steer them. But your goal, as a creator, you need to stop settling for bicycles and focus entirely on hiring self-driving cars. These are the people who reach the destination with absolutely zero work from you. And hey, if you're really lucky, you might just find a spaceship. That's a unicorn employee who just takes your whole business to heights you couldn't possibly reach alone.
Okay, so who exactly do you hire first? Let's break down the timeline. First up, hire a video editor. This is crucial because it gives you the most immediate relief from that brutal 40-hour grind. Second, bring on a scriptwriter or a researcher. Honestly, if you train them right, they can take over like 80% of the heavy lifting for your video prep. And third, bring on a dedicated thumbnail designer. That's going to lock in your visual branding and make everything look super cohesive.
Now you might be wondering, should I just use an agency for all this? Well, the source material is pretty clear here. 99% of the time, you want full-time employees, not freelancers or agencies. Agencies are usually pretty expensive, they definitely lack that personalized brand integration, and they suffer from turnover. But a full-time employee, they give you deep commitment. They really get your channel's unique culture and goals, and they deliver a level of consistency that an agency just can't match.
Which brings us to section 3, scaling your YouTube business, the ultimate time saver. So, you've hired your core team. Great, but now you've got a new problem. You might find yourself spending 20 hours a week just managing the workflow and doing quality control. So the crucial point is how you solve that. And the absolute game changer here is hiring a creative director. This person oversees the entire video creation process. They manage the workers, they handle the flow of videos from inception all the way to upload, they're on top of quality control, and they even analyze the data afterward. They do literally everything, except sit in the chair and record. Finding this specific person is what finally gets your workload down to that promised 4-hour work week.
And think about this, once the channel is basically running itself, your leads are going to explode. That's when you can really scale the monetization side of your business. If you're selling high-ticket services, you can start building out a whole back-end team. We're talking customer success managers for client support, remote sales closers to handle calls, appointment setters to convert leads, and an email list manager to drive even more leads. All of a sudden, your YouTube channel isn't just a channel, it's an automated lead generation machine fueling a massive business.
All right, moving into our final part, Section 4, Managing Your Rockstar Team, the operating system. Because look, once your team grows to like 10 or 12 people, trying to run the whole business on pure intuition, that just turns into absolute chaos. To prevent that chaos, the explainer sources highly recommend something called the Entrepreneurial Operating System, or the EOS traction model. It's essentially the operating system that keeps a high-performing team on track. It is built on 6 key components: vision, people, data, issues, process, and traction. Mastering this framework ensures everyone stays completely aligned, totally eliminating the need for micromanagement.
Let's zoom in on that vision component. The tool they use here is the V/TO, or the Vision/Traction Organizer. Its entire purpose is to get the vision of your company out of your head and onto a piece of paper. It aligns every single person on the team with what your core values are, what your massive 10-year target looks like, and what the specific quarterly priorities, they call them rocks, are that need to be tackled right now.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the people component. For this, you use the GWC rubric. It's basically the ultimate people analyzer to make sure everyone is in the right seat. You look at an employee and ask 3 things. Do they get it? Like, do they truly understand the nuances of their role? Do they want it? Do they have genuine enthusiasm for coming to work? And finally, do they have the capacity to do it? If the answer to any of those is no, well, they just aren't in the right seat on your bus.
Next up is data. You really can't run a scalable business on feelings. You have to run it on KPIs, or key performance indicators. The sources stress that weekly meetings are absolutely essential for spotting trends, like figuring out why a specific video performed incredibly well or why one completely tanked. And crucially, every single KPI must have a dedicated owner. When someone is accountable for a metric, there's nowhere to hide, which is exactly what you want in a high-functioning team.
And that brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? You now have the exact blueprint to test, hire, and manage an absolutely incredible team. Really, the only thing standing in your way now is your own willingness to let go of control. So what do you say? Are you ready to step out of the editor's chair and finally take your place in the CEO seat? It's time to start building your own automated Apex talent system today. Thanks for joining us on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.